Welcome to this edition of Crystals of Experience from Kumar Bala. The subject today is stress at work and the consequences of it thereof. I would call it man's injustice to man. Man here means both male and female, as in law, labor law. One of the worst things which can happen to a human being is to be selected for a job and then be working regularly, giving the productivity which is required by his employer, and after a while be found that he is wanting. Usually, this happens when the company suddenly wants to reinvent itself, wants to squeeze more from its employee, and gets a toxic boss for those who it wants to deal with unfairly. One of the most painful things which I always experienced and I was dead against was the fact that people would have to bear the brunt of the disciplinary action of a company and go through humiliation, being charge sheeted and sent on suspension with a paltry substances allowance, and after that they will be declared guilty and dismissed from service, and the poor man with no means to survive would have to claw back, fight case after case, and after years get reinstated. The reinstatement would only help him to get whatever he lost in wages, but nothing in way of compensation for the fact that the company was unfair to him and the fact that he was done in by the system and a toxic box. One of the greatest tools which the managements have is to produce a person who can go after the employees. Suddenly, a person who is an expert in his field or in this line is declared to be also a person who is just a pen pusher and doesn't give any contribution to the company. All these fine words of contribution are all absolutely relative. It depends on person to person and situation to situation. So this is where the poor person finds that his life in the factory or in the workplace, which he loved for so many years, suddenly becomes a chore by itself. Every passing day is like a prisoner waiting for execution. Everything that he does is looked with a jaundiced eye, and he is made to feel that he has more of liability than the asset that he was. Unfortunately, the poor man has to carry it home, and if he is brave enough, he sort of avoids bringing it to it and hiding it from his family, because the young family knows that he is the only source of income in normal Indian households, and with that he has to survive. He knows, especially if we go back to the 80s and 90s, that was the situation in industry. Job loss was hell for the family for more than 6 months till a person found a replacement for it, which generally was quite difficult to get. However, this was the way the system works, and we always find that the toxic boss is a person who is short lived, because after a while he has done the dirty work for his bosses and they have no time for him now. They suddenly feel that he is not worth the while and done away with. But unfortunately, the poor man has gone through hell and finds it too difficult to come out of it. This is how the whole system works, and it is the most unfair. I once remember towards the end of my career, a gentleman who was quite senior but not educated and was a factory hand went to the one of my juniors and asked him about how much he would get as provident fund because he had to have three daughters to get married. The 25-year-old twerp whom I overheard asked him, what will you do? How do you want to get them married now at this age? He said, I worked so hard, I've been able to get some money. I've built it up without a day's leave. So, with whatever I have, I will use that to get them married in a decent manner as much as I can. The heartless youngster says, oh, at the very first place, why did you decide to have three daughters? The old man smirked. At that time, he lost his cool and said that when you were in a liquid state, I did not know, or my family did not know, there are ways to circumvent that. It was the norm to have two children and sometimes three, and we are a very, very happy family, and we welcomed our children and gave the best to them all their lives. So that is the reason why they are doing so well, and I only require the fact that you could just tell me what I need to do or how much I would get, and I will work towards how to solve my issue. So these sort of people who are self sufficient are the people who can combat this sort of work stress, because there are people who are absolutely inhuman and um, absolutely showing their injustice against man, who rule the roost or temporarily are in charge and can create the havoc to people who want to live their normal lives and go about the business of living well with their family. I wish all of you the very best, and I sincerely hope you don't come in contact with any of these who would cause you work stress in your workplace. We have seen enough of people committing suicide, highly qualified people, and we hope that it comes to an end and society realizes that that should be the last resort of a human being. So, good luck to all of you.